So hello everybody, welcome to another video, which is about mixtapes. Now, mixtapes, I want to make this clear because it will make a lot more sense, I guess, in the next part of the video. Mixtapes do still exist, but are not as big as they were in the early 2010s and 2000s and stuff like that. So, another thing I want to make clear, I did not listen to music like I do now when the mixtapes were originally released. So with the two main mixtapes I'm gonna talk about, I didn't listen to them when they released, so I didn't get the feeling, I guess, the feeling you did when you heard them for the first time when they released. But I'm just saying this, compared to how it is nowadays with music. So basically, I'm just gonna talk about mixtapes were really good, because mixtape was just something fun and artists could make really fast without it being, a really big thing that they had to work like years on. It could be like made in half a year, something like that, which is not that long, but it would still be, a good listen. That doesn't really exist as much anymore, I would say. If you just ignore Young Boy, which just keeps on releasing a lot of stuff, which is fine. It's not that good, but that's not the main thing. So basically, the first mixtape I'm gonna talk about is Live Love ASAP. Now, Live Love ASAP, for those who don't know, is I don't think it's the debut mixtape, but just the first big thing by A$AP Rocky, and it is a really good mixtape. It has a real homey feel. I don't know if that makes sense, but that it was not made to be a really well performing mixtape, but just something fun, which I feel is just missing from a lot of music nowadays, that it's just supposed to be fun. Doesn't have to be real good, just fun. So with Live Love ASAP, it had a few worse tracks, not bad, but just worse than, I would say, a lot of his newer albums. But the better thing about Live Love ASAP is that it was just the feeling of it. It felt a lot more, a lot more just like it was just made for fun, I guess. It wasn't made to actually be something really successful. And it is just something about that feeling makes it a lot better. At least for me. Anyway, the next album I'm gonna talk about is Jeffrey. Or I guess mixtape, not album. Jeffrey by Young Thug. Now that Young Thug is free from jail, where he was I think it was just in captivity, I think you say. I'm not English, as you probably noticed. I don't speak English as my first language, so I might get a few of these technical terms wrong. But basically, he was charged for a lot of RICO trials, which he was gonna get a lot of time in jail for. But it's just 15 years probation now and no jail time. And when I first heard that, which was just a couple of days ago as I record this, I just wanted to go back and listen to some of his old tapes. And so I did. And the thing I noticed was just, it's a really fun feeling with a lot of Young Thug mixtapes. With specifically Jeffrey just being a fun listen, in my opinion. Because if you go to a lot of his other full-made albums, they're not as good as the mixtapes, in my opinion. Because if you take, I would say his only really good album would be So Much Fun. Rest of them are good, but still, they just have something missing that, is in Jeffrey, in my opinion. And so, now that he's free, I seen this get thrown around like a bit at least, which is that he should make a new mixtape called Truly Humble Under God because of the entire thing they had in court, that would be kind of fun to do. And you know, that's just what I think. And yeah, next and final thing I'm gonna talk about, because I don't have so much time on me, is that a lot of mixtapes just, I said this before, but I'm gonna dive more deep into it. They just don't get made anymore. I think the main reason because they don't get made anymore is probably something to do with either record deals or just how the artists work. I don't know nothing about record deals really, because I'm not in that industry, so I can't really explain that. But I think with some of these mixtapes, they count it as an album in the artist's album deals. As an example, let's just say you were signed by Universal under a 3-album deal. I think the mixtapes counted as one of these albums, even though it wasn't a fully proper album. So I think a lot of the industry are trying to crack down on it just because of that. And so the artists can't make as many mixtapes. And I think it's just some artists just try to have a lot more mainstream commercial albums now than before. Of course there were still commercial albums before. That's not something that just came now. But it's just a lot more. You gotta have a TikTok song that's really famous. You gotta have a song that's really popping on YouTube. You gotta have, you know, stuff like that. And not really stuff that's fun to make and is good for the culture, in my opinion. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna talk about today. I'm sorry if this was a much shorter video. I didn't have that much time to record. But I'll be back soon. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Goodbye.